America's the biggest bully on planet Earth. It's easy for them to hide because Hollywood is the biggest propaganda machine in the world. And because of Hollywood, we think Americans are so amazing. They've numbed our brains.
This is the Hustler's Corner.
Hello guys, welcome again to Virtual Mkhukhu. We're on our third episode today. I don't know how many more episodes we're going to go. Do you think we can go to 100?
We're going to hit 1,000. We're going to break it down. They don't know what's coming.
I like that.
They don't know what's coming.
Guys, show us some love with those like buttons on a count of 1, 2, 3. Click, 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 click. Thank you. Don't forget to go to the other side and click that subscription bell, yeah? Don't forget to switch on that notification button as well. Share the videos. We appreciate the fact that this is not us who are building this. It's you guys. He was just meant to be a guest once, and you guys commented and you said you want him back. He came back. You commented again and you said you want him back. He came back. You commented again and said, no, let this be a regular thing. Call it something. And he came up with the name in front of the camera, in front of all of you guys, Virtual Mkhukhu. So Mkhukhu was a
Come on. Virtual Mkhukhu.
Yeah.
It's good. I wanna try and get a bit more comfortable because I don't want to be like, thank you again, Sbu, for the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's my third or fourth time here, so I'm quite happy, and I'm glad people want more. It shows that our people are hungry, and we need to feed them.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Yeah, boy.
Let's do it.
Humbled. Let's do it too. I can see you've got a brand new tattoo as I'm greeting you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm like, oh, this one looks fresh, you know?
You know, I've got tattoos of all my children's names and symbols. My firstborn Nguni Malanga, so I've got a bull. My secondborn is Zulu. The third is Africa. Then I've got Ushaga. Then I've got Nkanyezi, and then my lastborn, I nicknamed him Mkhukhu, Unyanga. So I got a tattoo of a moon yesterday. But you're quite observant, and I'm quite happy about that. I think it's very important. Even historically, we used to capture our people, and I guess these are going to be my clan names.
Yeah.
And my symbols of the fruits that I've given birth to.
What age did you start drawing tattoos on your body? Or let me say, what age did you start inking your body?
Jeez. When I got to Joburg, 2008, for the first time, and I was gambling because I was like, hey, I might hate this thing. So I got my name. A lot of people always ask, why Penuel? Are you scared you'll forget your name? And I'm like, no, it was just, I was gambling. So I was like, let me try my name and see it from there. Lil Wayne, I'm a huge rugby fanatic. So the Maoris in New Zealand are big on tattoos. It's part of their culture.
Okay.
So those are the people that kind of inspire my art on my body.
The first person I saw in this country with so many tattoos was when I was new in the game was DJ Fresh.
Jeez, he's got a lot.
He's got tattoos all the way down to his legs.
Jeez. He's got a lot. He's like my brother. My brother's got tats all down his legs and whatever.
Are tattoos painful though?
Very. No, I'm saying this because I'm old. So tattoos are not painful, but I'm remembering this one from yesterday. With what happens with the tattoo is that he inality. You know inality tungayo?
Yeah.
So literally it's cutting through your skin and depositing ink. So some tattoos are deep and then some are faint. The faint ones sometimes fade relatively quickly.
Yeah.
But tattoos are relatively painful, but I think some people get addicted to that pain. And when you see the artwork for it, it's quite beautiful.
No, let me say, I'm not a tattoo person. I don't do tattoos.
Fair enough.
But shout out to everybody that does tattoos nicely. Shout out
there's a difference between a tattoo and stuka.
Yeah, Stuka. I was about to say. Yeah. I actually figured you probably won't know what the name means.
No, I know the name.
Oh, okay. Because sometimes, guys, we come from different townships.
Sure.
And as much as you guys from outside of Joburg, you think Joburg people will speak alike, we don't.
Sure.
I can tell you when somebody says Plazin,
sure.
When somebody says Enkambin, or maybe somebody says cow. I know this person is from Zola.
From somewhere, sure.
You know, this person speaks like this from Tembisa.
Fair enough.
Type of thing, yeah. So maybe let's start with South African musicians.
Yeah.
SA artists.
I heard you're working on an album.
Yeah.
Because I've heard Maru Apula.
Yeah.
Amazing. I wanted to say, I think the first time I came here, when I was listening to Maru Apula, I got a sense of Osama Yazakes. And initially I was like, Usbu is jumping on that whole African spiritual meditative type of music, like in the movie Avatar. Then I was like, but it's all our music. It's not like Zakes invented a sound. And there's nothing wrong with as many top artists as possible seeing that this is what we want. We want that African, we want music that speaks to us. And when I was listening to Maru Apula, I was like, this is it. I could listen to this the whole day in the background and just keep going. So shout out to that. But I heard you're working on like a full album.
Yeah, no, thank you. By the way, let me take those compliments. First, let me say I'm humbled for you to put me in the same sentence as my brother Zakes. Zakes is a friend of mine. He's a musical genius. I look up to him. And for you to just, put Maruapula with Osama on the same line, I'm like,
no,
yeah.
definitely.
But as a creative, I wouldn't say it's a same vibe.
Sure.
We all listen to music differently.
Sure.
But I kind of feel Maruapula is more of a tribal feel. You hear a lot of African percussions there. You hear some bongo drums. You can hear the powerful voice by Opapa the Voice. You can hear there's a violin there by Atlikang the violinist, the saxophone. I really do think it's smooth maturing in music. I know I haven't put up music in many years, but I kind of feel I am inspired to do so. Lots of musicians, we wait until we're inspired to make music.
Sure.
That's why maybe you would see some of your favorite musicians taking some time to release music. I know a little bit earlier you were saying to me off air, why do artists wait like the whole year
always
or 2
wanted
years
to know.
and not release music?
Ngathaba Spani. So what is the cause of that? Because we wait until December. Umuntu release 2 nyana tracks, and I'm like, what are you doing the whole year? Is it a lack of work ethic? Is it a matter of inspiration?
Definitely.
Sure.
Musicians make music when we are inspired. Musicians who've been working for quite some time, who are comfortable in their lives, sort of tend to make music more relaxed because maybe they've got an income, maybe they've saved up, maybe they've got some investments, maybe they've got another side hustle.
Sure.
They're relaxed. They don't really have to make a hit so they can go gig, so they can feed their children or their family.
Sure.
A lot of the times you find that we are caught up in a trap where we have to release because we need music out there. We need those radio spins. We need our music videos rotated so that we can get gigs.
And you need money.
Most of the money we make as musicians comes from gigs.
Sure.
Right? And as a musician, then you'll have either your management team. You probably have a management company that's set up. That's the team that looks after you. You probably have got some sort of a partnership also with a PR team.
Sure.
Or maybe you also have that in-house. And then you also have got a label. Maybe you've got your own label. You're signed under your own label. Or you are signed either under a major or maybe under someone else's imprint.
Yeah.
Maybe your mentor who's putting you on in the game. And then after the label, then you'll have what they would call a publishing. Your publishing needs to be looked after by your publishing company.
Sure.
So you as a creator need to go and register your own publishing company. Basically, that's going to be the entity that looks after your musical rights. So anything that you have that has to do with your creativity, you putting it down, or you singing as a vocalist, or you as a guitarist, maybe putting it on mic or on a song. Maybe it's not a session, you are part of that song, just like, for instance, Bongani Sax on Maruapula.
Sure.
You have to be credited. You have to get money through your publishing. It's your publishing. I'll make you an example. There is something called Sony ATV. Sony ATV is a publishing wing of the Sony company.
Okay.
And then some other people will bring up conversations and say, Michael Jackson was such a genius, not only a genius in making music, but he was such an incredible businessman that he went and did a deal with the Japanese who were owning a certain stake of Sony ATV, the publishing company, that he bought those rights that belonged to the likes of the Beatles, the late Elvis Presley.
I've heard about that.
And that model basically set the tone for what's going on in the music industry today.
Sure.
Because of how big of an artist Michael Jackson was, the whole world looked up to him. The type of deals he made then, us as musicians till today, we're using his playbook. Other people can say it's Russell Simmons' playbook. Somebody else can say Diddy. Somebody else can say Jay-Z, where artists see themselves as businesses, where artists, every little thing they contribute in, they see that as value. That's going to, appreciate over time. And even when they're gone, their estate can look after their children. So there's all sorts of different revenues when it comes to a musician. We also make money through what they call sync deals, where you are selling a certain song. You are linking it with a certain brand. Have you watched a commercial on TV and maybe you are hearing someone's song?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
They opted that song intentionally. And maybe that brand said, we want to use that song.
Sure.
But they have to pay the artist. They have to pay all the artists that have been a part of that song. Not only just the main artist as DJ Sbu,
Sure.
but DJ Sbu is featuring Papa the Voice.
Yes.
So Papa the Voice will have to be not only credited, but he has to be paid
as well.
through the income that comes through the sync deal. And also Bongani Sex, and also Drum Pope, and also Atlekhang the violinist. So everybody who was a part of that song, somehow they get remunerated for any type of use that that song has to, any type of income that that song generates.
Sure.
Yeah.
I want to point, and then I want to ask you 2 questions. The
I'll
point
keep
is-
on stopping because I can talk the whole time.
No.
When it comes to this
So my
music
first
thing.
point is,
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in, but there's going to be a lot of kids listening to this
Yeah.
who have ambitions in music, and who else to hear from but you? Not only as an artist, not only as a musician, but also as a record label owner, to understand the business of music. So I'm very happy that you did that, and I think you need to host masterclasses if you're not already, just around the industry. The second point, or the first question I wanted to ask, or the second point I wanted to make was, speak about Masters and Michael Jackson. I know you and I had spoken about how you've donated Pro Kids Masters to his family. So I just wanted to highlight that again, because a lot of people probably don't know that. So
It's TS
it must
Records,
be...
so I have to give shout outs to my
Sure.
partners, TK as well. Sorry, continue with the
Sure,
question.
no, I wanted, because people must know. One of the things I know with propaganda is you don't say it once, you have to keep saying it. People must hear it today and then hear it somewhere else and hear it 20 times. No, but Pro Kids families got the masters. Osbu made sure. Then 2 questions. The first one is this a gap in the market? When you spoke about all these layers, must be accredited, must be. And then the second question is, because that question ties in with, if you look at us, we're trying to create content every day. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, we're getting out there, we're getting views, we can get booked. But now musician has to jump all these hurdles. Is there potentially a gap in the market? Because I know it's happening with podcasts where people are looking for shortcuts. I shoot on my phone, I upload now, people can listen to me immediately. And then the second question was, I've lost it.
Okay, let me start with that
Let's
one.
do that first question.
So that one, as a musician, you also create your own layers.
Sure.
Because as a musician, whether you like it or not, you're already an entrepreneur. Because as a musician, you have something called a stage name.
Please say that again. As a musician,
You're automatically an entrepreneur.
you're automatically a business person.
Yeah.
As soon as you get into music.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just like me, Kamalam Gusubusiso.
Okay.
But I represent a brand that is trademarked called DJ Sbu.
Boom.
DJ Sbu, who is legally trademarked. The
Sure.
brand DJ Sbu is trademarked, and it's owned by my family estate.
Beautiful.
Can be owned by Sbusiso Lope, can be owned by my family trust, can be owned by my music company, can be
Sure.
owned by, whatever entity I choose, that this entity looks after this brand. That's the first thing that you come up with when you're a young person wanting to become a DJ and a dancer or a musician or vocalist. There's a stage name that you come up with.
Yeah.
But because that stage name, you'll be promoting it so much so that as your star keeps rising and growing, other people will use this name as well on other platforms. It will grow and eventually become a brand. So from the beginning, whatever you want to be called as, or whatever your stage name is going to be, remember that you have to go register that as a TM, as a trademark. Because you're going to blow up, you have not secured it or registered it as a trademark, and somebody else does it for you.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have to go back for your name, back from that person, and have to pay them
Buy
a
them.
certain... You remember the Bafana story, for instance?
I remember your story, the guy registering mofire.co.za.
Yeah. And luckily he didn't charge me.
Sure.
I had to sit down. He's just only asked for lunch.
Sure.
And he gave it back to us, the domain, the mofire.co.za. So anyway, with that being said, I was talking about the brand. Yeah, that's where it
Sure.
starts. It starts with you creating a stage name, and that stage name becomes your brand because that's what you're going to be known for.
Sure.
Mina abantu abaningi nabangibona basathi nokuthi Sbu DJ Sbu.
DJ Sbu.
Because that's the brand I created,
Sure.
right? Now, if you're going to be that brand, remember that now the music that you're going to create, a lot of the times will be called such and such a song by DJ Sbu. But then if you look at the credits, then the credits will write Sbusiso Liope. He's part of either the composer, if I produced the song, or if I wrote the song, I partly wrote, or
Sure.
whatever composal work that I've done, anything that might have been done by me as a contribution to that particular song or that particular album or that particular musical work, I have to make sure I document everything.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, at some point your music is going to end up doing well and it's all over the show, but you have not formed your publishing company, you have not registered your stage name or yourself as a trademark brand, and you probably have not even registered your own label yet. You're still independent. Remember, there's a lot of independent young people that are watching us right now who might not be signed. Those are the things that I'm expecting you guys have already done. You've already trademarked, and remember, when you're trademarking something, it goes under filing. It cannot be done immediately. You speak to a lawyer that you know, ask him questions on how to do that, or you can even Google it nowadays. There's information out there, and that's a process that goes on for at least 12 months in South African law. You can file it today, but whoever files first, even if it's not registered yet, but I filed first, the DJ Smooth trademark. If I file first under a certain category, which they would say section what. This DJ Smooth name is going to be operating within these sections, and then I choose. But the more sections you add, the more money you're going to have to pay, right? Because that's what they charge per section. Because maybe I want to turn the DJ Smooth brand into merchandise, I want to turn it into TV shows, so it's up to you which classes you want to put it in. If you don't have a lot of money, you're only still starting now as a new artist, maybe you can only focus on the merch side and the musical side for now. But the most important one is for you to go register a company for yourself. Even if you still want to be signed by a major, it's always better to treat yourself as a business and conduct your business under that company name. And you guys do know the basics of registering a company. The first 3 options that you put out there, and as the government comes back and says this first name has been taken, the second has been taken, the third one in line is the one that the government is going to consider as your company name. So having a brand name for yourself, your stage name, having a company that looks after your musical works, and another most important one, your publishing company. So this company that I just spoke about can be a publishing company. You don't have to register a label, but you need a company that looks after your intellectual property. Yes.
IP.
Yes, I can go on the whole day, but
no,
I know that I'm not answering
good education,
you fully, but I keep sharing.
People need this. You triggered my second question. I remember it now. Why are artists so poor? Why are they dying poor? Why are we seeing so many soccer players, actors, all these guys? You've been in the industry for years. You've done well. You've pivoted. You've created more fire. You've created businesses. You've gone into radio. You're now moving on to the next thing, which shows that you're an innovative person. You're going into crypto. Why are so many young people, I'm not even going to say dying poor, but umuntu, we are shisa in their 20s, in their 30s, they're now begging. What's causing that? Because listening to you now, it's almost like you're answering my question that there's such a huge vacuum. There's so much we don't know. I'm a cool kid, I can rap, yo, hit a beat. But I didn't know all these layers, publishing and trademarking. Is that what's kind of happening in terms of money? Because a lot of our guys they're struggling for it, and it's heartbreaking. I think about soccer players a lot, but I know a lot of our musicians and actors as well.
I don't think it's actors, musicians, and soccer players and actors only. I think it's a lot of us, especially abantu abamnyama, given our background and the type of education or relationship we've had with money, nasakula. So it doesn't matter whether you become a soccer player, whether you win the lotto, whether you become a musician or a dancer, or whatever you become. A lot of us come from similar backgrounds, and because we have not been fully trained properly to have a good relationship with money and understand money and understand all these different terms. What is good credit? What is bad credit? What is debt? What is saving money? Investing? What are the options that are there? What are some of the things, you know what I mean? Like, if you look at the entire, let's say, sector, a bowler, and you look at the entire sector, a rugby, you'll find that a lot of the rugby legends, a lot of them, they age well with their finances intact because of the people that were either looking after them or the type of upbringing they've had and the type of education they might have had and the relationship they might have had with money. It ends up becoming better than us and a lot of us that come from our community. Because now you're going to be, even if I give you R1 million right now, you're going to interact with that R1 million with the same habit that you had when you were poor. The same broken, like when you're broke.
Same poverty habits.
Same poverty mindset that you have. All of a sudden you win the lotto. Or all of a sudden you get a hit song. all of a sudden again I'm at 10,000, I'm at 15,000,
Jeez, I
I'm at
blew it.
30,000 every week.
Sure.
How's your relationship with that money that keeps coming in? Do you invite another person to say, please look after my finances, you're a professional? Do you invite a financial advisor and saying, ngicela ungincede la ngenza ama decision, nazi into engifuna ukuzenza, ngifuna ukuthengela umama indlu.
Sure.
Mangiqeda lapho ngifuna ukuzithengela indlu. Kodwa ngifuna imoto namanje. Kodwa imoto ngifuna manje. Yes, mhlambe it might not be kodwa imoto expensive just ukuthi ngikhona ukuya lena lena, khona ukuthi ngibonakale ngenza kanjani. It's always better to consult professionals, tell them what you want and tell them the type of lifestyle you'd like to live and be open about it. So you find that a lot of us are afraid to open a stranger up into
Sure.
our financial world. And then esikhathini esiningi sicabanga ukuthi siyazi because le mali iyangena uyakhohlwa ukuthi akusiyona yakho yonke. Enye kumele ibuyele back to government tax.
Jeez.
Enye kumele ibhadale i-road manager yakho. Enye kumele ibhadale your DJ or your dancers. Enye kumele ibhadale petrol. Enye kumele ibhadale data. Do you know what I mean? There's all
You know
those
why I'm
different
laughing
things.
though, right?
Yeah.
No,
I
because
don't.
it's come out in the news that you've got issues with the tax man. That's why I'm laughing.
Oh yeah. And let me say, with what I'm going through with
Sure.
my tax matters, I would like for it to be an educational journey for
Sure.
me, which it is. And I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
And I'm not entirely innocent, you know. I've made mistakes.
Sure.
And I've also had bad relations with my money when I was coming up.
Sure.
Older as I am right now and maturing into this amazing entrepreneur that I am becoming and a businessman, it's good that such matters sometimes they go out in the open so that
Yeah.
those become a teachable moment
Case
for
studies.
other younger guys who are like, yeah, Sbu.
Sure.
Umkolote kanjani u-tax man?
Uyangithinta. So I was a money coach for about 3 years. You know, I've got a background in finance. I did accounting, I did economics. I understand tax at an honest level. The books are incredibly thick. If anyone ever gets so bored and they want to read through the Tax Act. Then I read all the finance books that are out there, the popular ones, your Kiyosaki's and the like. And then I went out trying to do exactly what you're speaking about. Young people, enumchito shisayo manje, talking about poverty habits, they don't listen. They don't listen.
I understand.
And I guess that's why a lot of people speak about we need financial literacy at a school level. But they don't listen, man. Nyawuzu ukhuluma ama-professional. And part of the issue is you have to pay the professionals. That's one of the things that makes guys not want to use professional because they're Another thing is people don't understand basics of the stock market. People don't understand property. Sometimes you lose money in property. That's when they look for the get rich quick money. Bakume and these things which I can make 100% in 2 days. My issue is specifically Otaki that are young. They don't listen. So we're speaking about tax now, and I personally have an issue with the finance system. So you mentioned that you were not fully innocent. I think these guys have on purpose made these things difficult because we're relatively intelligent guys. I file my own tax returns, but I look at the stuff I'm filling in and I try to figure out if every working person or every supposed adult is meant to file this every year, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, but these terms are not easy. Who is supposed to do this? Are they just creating an opportunity so that people can come and charge you to advise you? Why are the industries not, why is the default position not, if you're becoming a musician, this is the default? Because I've done some TV work. And I think up front when I joined my agency, they'd keep, may have been 25% of whatever I get. Then when I file my returns at the end of the year, luckily I'd get a refund. I'd move my tax monies, whatever around, I'd get a refund. Why is that not the case in everything else? Why is the default, here's all your money? Because with the VAT, for example, if all black people had to file their own VAT at the end of the year, everyone would be evading tax. No one would pay willingly 15%. So what they've done is they've incorporated it. So you pay it through whatever you're buying from. Why is that not being done? I saw him, I think Isafa, I don't know if it's Isafa, one of the clubs, they're starting to roll out financial literacy for a lot of these soccer clubs. But again, my fear is, amachita, maisene nyugu, and ama yellow pona la, and uchwala bula, and next say woshisa ekasi. And then obviously there's black tax, and umchita saying centuanas for imali with crypto, except your head is buzzing. I don't even know if they're going to attend those classes, because like I said, I've reached out to people in the entertainment industry, to soccer players. They don't listen. The rugby players are lucky because their parents have a legacy of money. They know very quickly that you must go work with a banker, you must go sit with a financial advisor. Tina much it is, and it seems like I don't even know with record labels if there is such an initiative. Uti, as soon as we sign you, we keep this much. I heard the Generations guys. This is one of my favorite case studies. The Generations guys, rest in peace, Sbusi Udlomo.
Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Mr. Menzi Ngubane.
Umenzi
My
Ngubane.
favorite guy named Semen. Lale Ngxolo Grootman.
It was a very great case study for me watching Amachite Generations complain about being underpaid. Because what I heard as someone who understood numbers was that these guys don't seem to understand the business of the game they're in. A person's like, but I'm on the cover of Vitram, Nebona, everyone knows my name. I'm the show. And you're like, no, you're components, like a camera, like a director, like a script writer. Yes, you might be a vital one, and you need to learn, as you were talking about branding, to value your brand and how powerful you are. Can someone else come buy you at a higher price? That's why you're Cristiano Ronaldo, no Messi. People want to buy them because they can see. Or are you just here and we've actually been the ones to blow you up? On top of that, then I heard Umenzi Ngubane speaking about how he didn't even have medical aid. What? They didn't have pension. And in my head, I'm thinking, but you're in an erratic industry. Your character could die next week. So you can't. But now no one is giving you the financial literacy of take the money you're given, get your own medical aid, get your own pension fund. Because we don't have that thing. And then what happens is a lot of people don't even understand when they're like, yeah, my company gives me a car allowance, and that's your money. You worked for it. No, it's benefits from the canteen, the discounted food, the freebies. That's your money. You've earned it. There's something called a cost to company. Now, when we speak about master classes and the one you were giving, there's something called a cost to company. How much do you cost the company, including your laptop, the rent we pay where you're sitting, the parking bay that you have, the fact that there's marketing that feeds into your department? Because there's probably if you're getting paid 300,000 a year, you probably cost the company maybe 600,000, but the rest gets placed elsewhere. So I'm just worried. I don't know where we're supposed to start. And at some point I was hoping today we'd speak about crypto, because there's a video I made and people kind of missed what I was saying. We need to start it from the beginning and speaking to people about, guys, this is where the conversation with money starts. Mhlambe we need to scare them and show them the poor, broke, this is going to be you. And then the person's like, no. It's like, okay, then listen.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
siyakhohle esikhathini esiningi ukuthi endlini babheke thina.
Sure.
Uzolo uyabeka right wathi uthini konje that line yakaZola pusha mfana ekhaya babheke wena, something like
Jeez,
that.
sure.
And that's true, because a lot of us, if you make it, you are the pride and hope of your community, not only just your family.
Shit.
Everybody in your community looks up to you. And njalo na uzoshaya around ekasi mfana 5 tiger nyana awusathi tiger awusathi kholi
Sure.
awusathi one nyana
From everyone,
right?
No,
But
I want to
that's-
emphasize that from everyone.
but that's
Everywhere you go.
exactly, but that's where we come from.
Jeez.
And you need to understand. And I know sometimes we get angry and we're like, yeah, but I have to go and look after myself. I
Sure.
need to go build my life. We need to remember how we were brought up. We need to remember where we come from. I need to remember the original history of Africans is ukhumbule ukuthi abantu be-community.
Sure.
That's why they would say it takes a village to raise a child.
Sure.
So if this child has gone to good schools and they've acquired a good education, now they're coming back and they're driving past. It's not every week that we see them. It's not every month that we see them.
Sure.
They probably only come back Easter time, guy one ngonyaka. Or maybe they only just come twice a year, Easter and festive season.
Sure.
Sijabulela ukubabona. But everybody jabulelas ukubona at their level. There's somebody who jabulelas ukubona at their level where
Sure.
they don't have anything.
Sure.
And they feel good, wow, growth money has come.
Sure.
It's like namhlanje ngizozitholela cold drink. Growth money ngicela cold. So it's not all the time that everybody's trying to take from
Sure.
you. And yes, there are other people abasile who would come into your life to just take. But not everybody is like that. And mentally, 5,000 yana yokugcina, mele still ngibabhekele ejartini, mele still ngibhekela amajita ngeyekholi njalo nangihlangana nabo ngeweekend echisa nyama. But those are the communities that we come from. So
Can I speak about black
I'm
tax?
not saying, yeah, that's what we're talking about now.
Sure.
That's where we're going. I'm not saying give your money to everybody.
Sure.
But remember, that's even if I Puzelu uncle, he's that uncle who was looking after you. Akwenzisa ama homework, akuthatha ngama weekend ahamba zula nawe lokishini, akunakekela uyintwana yakhe. lo mamncane wakho uye wayekusikela isinkwa njalo after school useyintwana uphume esikoleni lo munye ugrotman wakho uye wayekulela estradini abafuna ukukutrapa abafuna ukukushaya. And now that you are sort of, I wouldn't even say it's success, maybe it's only degree, or you've gotten some sort of a position or some sort of a gig somewhere. We are celebrating you and we are happy that you're achieving this success. But it doesn't mean that all of us want to take from you. And I always kind of feel it is our responsibility to give back to where we come from.
Can I speak about black tax?
Yeah.
I made a video about black tax inspired by one of the brands did a round table with Robert Marawa and Umbuso Khoza, speaking about cultural matters.
Shout out to Grootman Mbuso Khoza. I'm still waiting for our collaboration. We need to do that song. Actually, our song Put Mbuso Khoza I wanted on this current album that I'm working on. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that.
Fresh.
Yeah, I'm fucking impressed. When Xotana a few weeks ago, he was in Switzerland.
Sure.
So now that his name has just come up, let me just kumbuza him. Nangabe nyamazu Put Mbuso Khoza, go to his social
tell
media
him
and ask him
to his DMs.
When is he recording that song with DJ Smooth? I look up to him, by the way.
Black tax is such an emotional topic for me. I made a video about it and inspired by that conversation. Because of poverty and because of a lack of financial literacy, a lot of us just have missed the whole thing. There's definitely a place to speak about Ubuntu and the community and giving back. And I think part of what's meant to happen to financial literacy is that all children are meant to know that your parents are raising you as an investment. This thing of no, you are an extension of us. Just as we take care of you, please know that one day, I see it in some of the other nations. When I no, I have to take care of my Tinangati, it's a shock. No, you have to. You are the dividends for your parents. So part of the financial literacy needs to be about, guys, we're being raised to give back. And if you do make it, unfortunately, yes, you're going to have a bigger responsibility than the next guy. Because
don't say unfortunately.
You made it.
It's
I'm saying unfortunately specifically because I know there's different people listening. And I was listening to you speaking and I was cringing because there's a lot of young people who don't even want to go home for exactly what you were saying. Because the uncle always wants to be here. Because and they get angry. Because they only go through it so much and they're like, do you know how much debt is sitting on my shoulders? Do you know that my car's about to be repossessed? Do you know at work? So they get emotional. There's a lot of people now, festive. They don't go home anymore because it's a traumatic experience.
I think it's selfish when let me come in there. I know you. I'll
Sure.
let you finish. Now, compare nala mantombazana ohlala uploma nawo nge-weekend. I'm not talking specifically.
No. I'm glad you're raising this.
Ohlala uploma nabo every weekend.
Sure.
Just one lunch. Forget going out to a conca or
Sure.
going out to a club. Just sitting like this.
Sure.
Because you remember, going out starts with just maybe a lunch like this.
Of course.
Maybe this lunch is happening simultaneously at a car wash while our cars are being washed.
Sure.
Or maybe my car is being washed.
Sure.
Because maybe I'm the achiever in the crew.
Sure.
And I'm going to have to pay that bill, tip those guys who are washing the car. I have to pay the bill of this chisanyama that we're having here. And then we're going to groove.
Boom.
Mara esikhathini esibhaya singathi siyabheka wena awuthi yami le mali oyispende yini amachita or ukuba ibhodlela yi or ukuspenda le konka.
Sure.
Now ungayibheka leyo mali esikhathini esiningi, it's no way compared to imali abahlale bayicela ekasi.
No, I agree.
Ekasi mfethu bazicelela 10 rand, 50 rand, iklipa, 3 klipa, at most 5 klipa, at most itawa.
You, what's Buddha?
Esikhathini esiningi lezo imali okhuluma ngazo wena ama
Sure.
10 rand, ama 20 rand as opposed to lezo ile queen ezihlale ziko regatreg ekonka.
This is why I was saying earlier, and I wanted to emphasize that it's all the time and it's everywhere. You know, when you park your car around Joburg, you have to pay, and that money accumulates. And in this country, people don't earn as well as we'd like to think. You know, the average black salary is 3.6. To be in the top 10% is 7,300. The top 1% is at 50,000 take home. So the 50,000 guy is the one that can give out 300 what. But part of that financial literacy, which I'm saying, if we could fix it from a young age, teach the young kids, you're being raised by your parents to give back. Understand that you have a responsibility to give back. And then importantly, as you're growing up, begin drafting a sort of, maybe a list of these are the people I actually have to give back to as a matter of priority. Know that. And then from the parents' perspective, we need to teach financial literacy so that the parents understand that this is how money works. So if your child is earning 30,000 a month, chances are in Joburg, this is how much rent is, this is how much a car is. So your child maybe only has this much. So try and be what I'd call realistic from parents, the kids as well, because ma keep 10 rand, nama 200, nama, are you actually, is that within a budget? Are you working, even if we include those slay queens and the car wash, are you working within budget? Do we know how to budget? So that you know that when I go home, I've actually got my budget of 5,000, for example. 5,000 every day, nama 2 rand, nama 5 rand, because I know what's going to happen when I walk in the streets. And I know the people that are my priority, that non-negotiable, I'm going to do this. I know the people that are not that much of a priority, here and there. Then the guys who I'm like, I was in Petang now in 5 rand, Jaya, but within a budget, so that you know that I spent 5-10% within. That's part of the issue that we have. And I think part of the issue with the young people we were speaking about is maybe some of them end up broke, not because of bad spending habits with slay queens and car washers, but because their black tax is so high. And the black tax is not transferring into a black investment. It's literally charity. Eka, they're always waiting for money from you. They're not taking money buying more fire stock. They're not taking money building a room at the back. So that in the third year, you're like, imali, they're like, sathathi imali osinikeza, sis nespaza. No, sis nama room, si grand. When you come home, we'll do something nice for you. Because yes, you were the chosen one who was a startup setu. But we didn't just milk you to a point where we took the little bit that you have and we're like, look, let's plow in. And one of the things I said in my videos about black tax is, let's not only send money home, let's send skills and education. Upgrade your parents, upgrade your brothers and sisters, and then also give them opportunities. Like say, Yazi, I'm a doctor, I'm a medical doctor, but konum chito taisa these things, go home and be like, Tuan, wazaname koli. I want to show him chito kandi nyung halendlel, and then take it back home. And then whatever stock, I'll take the black tax money and I'll send you stock. Niben qalendlini and do something. Oh, nasispan. Uplift. Don't just be a hero on your own, because at some point heroes need help. And if you haven't built up back at home, the cycle's going to continue, that poverty cycle, and they'll wait for the next hero. That's my bit on black tax. I'm
wow,
done.
That's an incredible contribution. Because imali baluleke kakhulu.
Too much.
You know, I always say that imali even plays a very integral role even in a relationship, even in marriage. A lot of marriages, divorces happen because of imali. And maybe because even before umshado, maybe there wasn't even premarital counseling that happened. Maybe you didn't even dive deep into financial matters with you and your spouse or you and your partner. So I love what you're saying, talking about budgeting and knowing, okay, I can play within this range. But sometimes it doesn't mean the fact that you can afford it means you can afford it. Euphonic once said something so beautiful.
Sure.
The one day he said, if you can't buy 5 of it cash,
or was it 5?
Even if you can afford it, don't buy it.
Sure.
Because he didn't say don't buy it, he said you can't afford it.
100%.
He said if you can't buy 5 of it cash, then it means you can't afford it. I was like, wow, what an interesting thought. Anyway, he said that, and I started thinking about these things. Okay, with that being said, yes, I know ukuthi ngithi esikhathini esiningi imali isukube inkinga nakuma relationship nasemishadweni. I mean, take for instance, let's talk about Kim and KimYe.
Sure.
I mean, I'll talk about it because they're out there.
Sure.
And they've been in the news like crazy lately. In relationship, yeah.
Sure.
They both have money.
But a lot of money.
But they've got all of this laundry that is just out there in the world. I mean, just recently Kanye West was dissing Trevor Noah.
Sure.
He was dissing D.H. Hewley. And I'd like to take that matter and say, na babantu ababili banemali.
Sure.
Bebashadile kodwa banale inkinga.
Bayani.
And I love Trevor Noah's point. The way he was like, if a woman like Kim, it is so hard to eject or move away or leave a man like KimYe on that level.
Sure.
Now imagine ordinary human beings
Sure.
who are living their ordinary lives, their day-to-day lives on an ordinary day. When we say to a woman, leave this guy, he's abusing you. He's abusive. He's disrespectful.
Just leave him.
Just leave him, and then as understand more. I think now the laundries of Kim and Ye out there in the public show us another perspective of wow, even rich people. Because a lot of the times the rich people don't fight in public.
Of course.
We usually just hear about them Bill and
And we get
Melinda
shocked,
Gates,
like,
they've
oh.
just divorced.
Sure.
And we're hearing 6 months later she's on an interview with Gail.
Sure.
And then some questions she doesn't want to answer.
Of course.
Bill will answer for himself. So for once in a while, the most wealthiest black artist,
Yeah.
Kanye West,
Yeah.
he's dishing out his laundry in public.
Yeah.
And one of our own, Trevor Noah, has had an interesting contribution on that matter. I'd like to hear your contribution to a situation like that. And maybe relate it to ordinary people.
Yeah. The first thing I want to say is I'm glad you spoke about relationships and money and budget. Because I've asked people before, what's your relationship allowance? Like, what's that? Okay, we'll have 50,000 a month. But what's your relationship budget? What do you mean? How much do you spend on your relationship? People don't even know what I'm speaking about. I might be earning 100,000 a month. But any woman that comes close to me must know, sis, I only budget 5 grand a month. So if you see me driving a nice car and whatever, that's my money. But for us, movies, vacations, whatever, this is all I have. Just so you know. I'm a huge fan of Kanye West. When I think of people like yourself, Mzolisto, obviously back in the day, or Tupac, people that have been mental game changers. Not just inspirational from a music or a talent perspective, but people who have literally shifted minds, where the way you see the world changes. Kanye is one of those for me. His music is absolutely phenomenal. What he's done in fashion, just in being a voice for alternative black people. We see white people being alternative thinkers. When a black person is a Republican, you're like, hey, why is he supporting Trump? He's just forcing us to shift our thinking.
Shout out to Candace Owens. I heard you speak about Candace Owens the other day, and also you're talking about Killer Mike.
Yeah.
I follow those voices as well.
No, definitely.
About Tariq, I follow those voices. I just, it's always important to also follow other black people from all over the world, not only from Africa.
All over the world. So that's very important. We could speak about Candace and Kim.
You were still talking about not Killer Mike, not Candace. But
no stress. I was saying Kanye and them have shifted minds.
Kanye, yes.
I have the ability, unlike most people, to not be a binary thinker. Things are not black and white. So DJ Sbu slaps a guy in the streets. Sugu Sbu is a rubbish, I'm writing him off. Cancel him, don't play his music. And I'm like, that's an isolated event. Could be something big, like you stole money. I'm like, that's an isolated event. Usbu has been in the industry for so long, he's done so much. Look at how much value he's generated. This might be a bad thing he's done. I have the ability, unlike other people, to isolate that. Same thing happened with Jacob Zuma. I was a huge fan. When the Nkandla thing came out, I was one of the people saying, no, the money from Nkandla must be found. We want it back because it can build schools and whatever. And they're like, but don't you like Zuma? I do, but not blindly. I'm not an idiot. I have the ability to isolate to Kanye and say, I'm not happy with what he's doing right now. I know he's not in a good space. As you were saying, even rich people bayanya. So, unyiswa divorce, number one. Unyiswa ingane that is not seeing, number two. And I've got a very sensitive personal story and lots of stories from guys I've counseled of fathers who don't have access to their children. I don't think we'll speak about it today, but it's a very sensitive point for me. That a lot of fathers don't have access to their children because there's something called female privilege when it comes to kids. Women feel like they own children. And everyone else feels like women own children. When you speak to your father, to your brother, they're like, oh, but the child's with their mom. Why are you stressing? You're like, dog, I'm a parent too. And that's what Kanye is trying to say. I'm a parent too. I also want to have a voice. I also love my kids. Why must Kim get all the rights when it comes to... I also have a voice. I'm not happy about how he's doing it. And he said he's mentally not well. He said that he takes meds. But harassing a woman... Because I can't go around beating up women or raping them and say, but I told you guys I'm mentally ill. Like, no, dog. That's nice for you, but what you did is wrong. You are harassing Kim in the public domain. You are harassing her boyfriend. You've had 3 girlfriends since you guys have broken up. Kim has never shaded them or dragged them. Kanye releases a music video where apparently he's chopping off this guy, Pete's head and burying him. That's intimidation. That's wrong, dog.
That's art.
And your kids are watching you. Kim is not out there saying, yeah, but Kanye, what type of an example are you setting? She's not. She's just like, please go through the lawyers.
That's art, bro.
Yes, they call it art. And I heard Trevor,
I'm joking.
I heard Trevor saying this.
Actually, I'm not joking. It is art.
It is art, you know. But It's sad, and I'm glad Trevor raised it. And I think with Trevor, these guys probably stalk some of our pages and they steal some of our content. I made a video a day before Trevor's video came out. My mother was abused by my father. There's a person you and I have interviewed as well who spoke about his father who abused his mom. A lot of women are abused, and you ask, and I can answer, and that person we spoke to can answer, why didn't your mom leave? I'm like, I was there, dog. I can tell you why she didn't leave. She was scared of my dad, and you were saying Kim is currently being harassed in public. And if Kim Kardashian can't switch off a Kanye West, what about the normal woman out there that's scared, that's petrified of leaving, or is scared of even being judged? Yo, people are going to say my marriage failed or what. I don't want to. The kids, I don't want to do it for the kids. And in the same frame of mind, I was thinking, this is Kanye screaming for his kids and screaming, I want my family back. I don't approve of how he's doing it, but I approve of what he's doing. I want my kids, I want my family back. I want to build a strong family. How many men out there, normal men, would love to be with their kids? Would love to bring the family back, would like to have a voice. I don't think my daughter should be twerking on TikTok. The mother's like, who are you? We're divorced. How many normal guys are out there that don't have a voice when it comes to their kids? How many normal women out there, unfortunately, and I'm speaking from my mom and other people, how many women out there, and Trevor, I think, also spoke about his mother, for various reasons can't get out. And I think, along with financial literacy, there needs to be some type of sensitivity training for both men and women. I know a lot of women want men to be trained, toxic masculinity, be sensitive, you're going to have girl children, you can't do this, what's rape culture? But a lot of the women need to understand the struggles that men are under as well. Because it's a new day. We were raised by single moms, so we know how to change nappies, dog. Can I also get a shot? Can I be a parent? Can I help with homework? You're just a man, what do you know about kids? No, I'm not your father. I'm me. I'm your partner, I'm your husband, I'm your baby dad. Allow me to parent. I might even be better than you. Allow me to parent. How can we fix? Listen to me. Stop slapping me. This is not the bold and the beautiful. I'm not Rich Forrester. You're not Brooke. It's not cool to throw champagne on my face. I don't like it. And I might react in a way you don't like. Then I'll be accused of GBV. So we need some type of sensitivity training, and shame. We need to bring our families back together. I've seen so many other couples, Will Smith being one with Jada and Cherie. I think Bruce Willis, Demi Moore, and Ashton Kutcher at some point. I've seen families where couples split, another person comes in, and they still co-parent and build a relationship, and they're like, no, the kids can visit you. Why is Kanye not extending a hand to Pete and saying, dog, can we have a chat? Can we have a sit down? This is how I feel about my kids. Let me know what you think, and help me raise my kids. You're an extra man in their lives. I just want to make sure we're on the same page and we're all happy, and let's be a happy family. So that even if you leave one day and I get back with Kim, there's no beef. Because now this guy leaves and he'll maybe always hate Kanye and be like, I wasn't even there for you, man. Then he ends up retaliating with the way he retaliated, saying I'm in Kim's bed. But it's just destructive.
You just spoke such an interesting point, and I want to give a big shout out to my brother, Thabo Molefe. Congratulations, by the way, with the brand new Metro FM gig. I know some of you guys have been asking me, what's going on between you, Rob, Fresh, and Touch? Shout out to Rob as well, who's with the Arena guys, and he's killing it on Vuma FM and Rise FM. Is my biggest inspiration. Is also on Sowetan Live. That's Robert Marawa. Why am I saying big up to Touch? Because Touch has been public about being that guy who has had an incredible, good or positive,
sure,
or let me say, aspiring to share inspirational energy around co-parenting.
Yeah.
I've seen him on a lot of public social media posts with him and both his current wife,
sure,
and his baby mother. And just they all get along.
It's tricky what you said.
They all get along. I'm
sure,
like, but how do you do it? It's
yeah,
like wow, you know what I mean? So big up to my brother Touch. So I've seen that on social media posts through my brother Touch.
Shout out to
Let me
Thibaut
just
Touch.
mention, because it's not an easy thing.
So I'm glad you gave me a chance. That's better to Khuluma. Shout out to Thibaut Touch. I used to hate Thibaut Touch's voice and that American, but it's shown Metro FM.
What,
Drive
Vusi
time.
hated Touch? I don't know.
No, I'm saying me now.
Oh,
I used to hate
okay.
Vusi. No, not I hate. I don't like Vusi Thembiwayo's accent.
Oh, you mean the
His-
twang? Oh,
the
okay.
twang,
Oh no,
yes.
but Vusi is brilliant though.
No, he's a brilliant mind.
Yes,
he's,
yes.
he's a brilliant leader. He's a brilliant speaker.
Yeah.
I'm saying, speaking about Thibaut Touch, because of his voice, I was like, I'm not going to listen to this guy. But somehow his drive show on Metro was absolute fire.
What bet
Jeez.
okay, with that being said, what bet do you have? He's starting on the 1st of April. Do you think they've given... I don't know. Don't think maybe
Sure.
I know because it's my brother. He hasn't told me also. Do you think it's going to go morning or afternoon drive?
I think they would
Because
have.
I'm assuming it's a drive. Touch is a drive guy.
I'll be very sad if they don't give him a drive. Someone will have to be sat down and be like, Dwana, if you've given him morning, please make a plan. Shift things around. Please. He's definitely a drive time guy.
But what if he can kill it in the morning?
You killed it in the morning.
But I know he can kill it too.
Have you done drive time?
I've done all. I've done graveyard.
I'd like to hear you on drive time, because what you did for us in the morning, Wautandaza, you hit inspiration. I used to wake up to you when I was doing honors in accounting.
You
dog,
gotta
and I
be
was like,
kidding
yo,
me, bro. Serious.
2008, the DJ Smooth Breakfast Show. I was like, yes, sis. There was a time we spoke about the music you'd listen to when you were going to meetings
Yeah.
to get pumped.
Yeah.
So to start my day, while I was still sleeping in the dark in winter. That's why I say I don't think you guys know how powerful you are. I think you take it for granted. I think you know, and people are like, hey, Grootman, you're such a, and you're like, thank you, and you're like, yo, I know people love me. I don't think you guys actually get it. But anyway, so Thibaut Touch, I hope he gets drive. I really, really hope he gets drive.
So me too.
drive time.
I'm betting for the afternoon show.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Touch, and congratulations to the SABC for bringing Touch back. We're looking forward to that afternoon show. We're already proclaiming it.
Touch says this is Umuti. No, I'm joking. Touch is a very religious guy. I think his father may have been a pastor. He comes from a very Christian background.
Yeah, he's an incredible believer. He's a man of God.
Yeah.
But I think what I love about Touch is his energy. He's an entrepreneur.
Yes.
He's got fearless spirit.
Yes.
And let me just mention to the public, nobody has mentioned this. I know Rob, Fresh, and himself, Touch, have done interviews around our potential collaboration that could have happened last year. It didn't happen, but I still believe it will happen in the future.
Sure.
But let me mention that some of the things that I've learned from... By the way, sorry, I was about to mention this. The collaboration, the idea for the four of us coming together,
Sure.
that's Touch's idea. So big up to
That's
Touch.
brilliant.
I want to big him up for that.
Sure.
Number two, I look up to these guys. Remember, I look up to Fresh before I even joined YFM. You know, I looked up to Rob before I joined the SABC. And I've, become friends with these guys, but these are guys that I also look up to. So
Sure.
that's why wow, somebody can sing really well. I'm hearing somebody
That's a beautiful
singing
voice,
outside.
eh?
It's a beautiful voice,
Jeez.
bro. That's incredible.
Guys missed out
Anyway,
on an amazing voice.
With
Wow.
that being said, let's keep it moving. I know we can speak about this all day, but just wrapping it up, I just wanted to let you guys know that it was Touch's idea to bring us together and have us form a collaborative station, which is myself, Touch, Robert Marau, and DJ Fresh. Hasn't happened. I don't know when it's going to happen. We were working on it, but some things happened. But it's delaying it a little bit longer. We're just happy with Touch's brand new appointment at Metro FM. We've also congratulated Penuel on his new appointment on virtual Mkhukhu.
I must get a,
It's gonna
I must,
be big,
I must
bro.
get a, I must get a
It's only
chain.
the
I must
third
get a chain
episode.
and those things. We
Yeah,
say
yeah.
I'm part of virtual Mkhukhu. Come on. Just to finish off on Touch. Sorry. No, I'm joking. I don't know if it's Touch, because sometimes men get credit for things they're not supposed to get.
Yeah.
Sometimes it may be his wife. It could have been the mother of his children. I saw you hesitate with baby mother. A lot of people get touched with baby mama and whatever.
I have to choose my words.
You have to
I'm
choose
a Groot man. I don't want to get dragged into...
There's nothing wrong with the term baby mama, but we can speak
Unnecessary.
about it on another day.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Black Americans actually killed it. There was nothing wrong with that name.
Yeah.
Someone or some of them, or maybe all of them, I think had the maturity to be like, let's make this thing work for the benefits of the kids. And I think his ex, the mother of his child, at some point went on a holiday with him. So for people out there, relationships end. Marriages end. Life is really long. And if you want to live a fulfilling life, try and really heal and fix as much as possible. Co-parenting can work if you guys are both mature. If your partner is mature, it'd be like, look, this is the father of my children. We have a good relationship. Maybe I'm still angry, he cheated, whatever the case may be, but I want to win and life is long. And he might be a good friend to you. He might advise you one day when things are bad. So, yeah, it's going to be part of the training that's going to be needed. People just need to understand that life is long. We live in a new time. Marriages end and children get left behind. And we need to find a way. Okay, I'm a stepdad or I'm a stepmom. How do I extend a hand and sit with this guy and we're trying to make it work? And we manage. You would know if you want to see the kids, don't speak to my wife. I know she was your woman. But I think for peace and for speak through me, I'll bring the kids to you, mano man. Say, okay, sure. And let the boys know, we'll talk, say, this is my stepdad, Sbuda. This is my biological dad. And they get along and it's beautiful. Black men that are, I said Will Smith sort of seems to have gotten it right with this, but they also had friction initially. The friction will always be there, it's normal. We fight with our own siblings. But shout out to Touch and the family for keeping it going. I hope they speak more about it so that more people can find healing and an example and be like, if they can do it, and we can do it.
Seeing that we're speaking about Touch, Robert, and Fresh, let me also mention and give a big shout out to Grotmanle too, Mr. Tato Skwane, DJ Fresh, and his wife, or his former wife, Ostabiso Sekwane. Thank you guys for being civil with your divorce. Thank you for showing us that actually that can happen. Black people can still get along and be friends. And still both be on camera and be like, yes, we're going through this process. We've been going through it for the past couple of years, but it doesn't mean we're enemies. Doesn't mean we're fighting. It doesn't have to be dirty all the time. It can happen in a civil, respectable manner. And I also want to throw in the DJ Fresh as well. Shout outs to DJ Fresh and his wife, Ostabiso Sekwane, for handling that as civilized and as amazing as possible. Because remember,
example.
All of these people that are in the public eye, Joe, like whether we like it or not, people take some pages out of their books, you know? Keeping it moving. Government extended lockdowns, lockdown extensions.
I saw Hulmenwenu. So, was it 2 days ago? I don't remember when it was.
I think it was 2 days ago, yeah.
Because Dlamini Zuma went and reported that we are extending it by a month. I was one of the people that was extremely upset. I've been upset with our government's handling of the pandemic for long and for many various reasons, besides the looting of the COVID relief funds.
And it's not only I just saw even in America. People are busy being locked up. But anyway.
No, man. So on the record, there is no scientific reason for why we still have a lockdown. I'm saying this not because I'm a scientist, because the top scientists in this country and globally, when you look at the data, we didn't know what it was when it came out in 2020. We didn't know. Asaz, say hide in your room, something's coming, we don't know. And then over time you collect data. We have the data. We've been managing it. If you go to Amakasa Maningi, people have not been following protocols and they're fine. So looking at the data, yes, people are getting sick. Yes, a few people have died. Yes, we need to still wash our hands. We need to make sure that if you're sick, whether it's flu, stay at home, whatever the case may be. But there's no scientific reason for why we're still under a national state of disaster. So in saying there's no scientific reasoning, it seems like there's a political and legal reasoning for why this is happening. What I know fundamentally is because the Disaster Management Act is in effect, our government has superpowers that they didn't have before. They can violate the Constitution during this time in the interest of the nation. Once you're out of the Disaster Management Act, you can't do that. At the same time, I don't think, and these guys have had 2 years, these guys haven't created adequate planning. Even last month, they were like, we're extending the 350 to next year. I don't understand, and I'm very upset. I don't know if they're enjoying this new found power. The people on the streets are carrying on with their lives, but I know behind the scenes, there's still a lot of relief money. They're still getting a lot of loans because they're like, we're under lockdown still. But I'm very upset with this extension. We'll see next month if they extend again. Maybe they're waiting for winter so they can say, the cases have gone up. Like I said, with the Disaster Management Act, it allows our government, which a lot of normal, ordinary citizens already feel is corrupt and inefficient. It allows them to do certain things that the ordinary man may not see. So we may feel the ripple effects later on. A lot of small businesses are still not getting aid. Currently, a lot of people are still not allowed to get into stadiums and watch their favorite soccer players. People in entertainment still can't host big events. But we saw when it was convenient, again, going back to breaking laws that the government does, when it was convenient for them, they were filling stadiums when they were campaigning for the local elections. Then it was fine. We weren't social distancing when we were voting. That was fine when it suited their agenda. So my issue is mostly the bullying. My issue is the fact that they're going out and taking loans, which you won't feel it now. But in maybe 2 to 5 years from now, you won't understand why more businesses are crashing, why unemployment has gone up, why tax benefits are now less. No, guys, we're struggling. We haven't raised. It's going to be because of some of the acts that they've taken now.
What are some of the conditions that come with those IMF loans, World Bank loans, the monies that we keep getting from other countries as aid?
Yeah. I wish as many people as possible get access to the richest people in the world, the most powerful and influential politicians, to sit with them and realize, oh, Sbuda's got problems. Hey, Sbuda was nervous before he went on camera. Hey, Sbuda's stressed. This is a normal human being. What that does to a person who gets exposed to that, you realize the world is not as crazy as I thought it was. I think Trevor Noah's showing us that in how unflustered he is interviewing a Barack, chilling with a Jay-Z and a Beyonce. Which, guys, it's possible for Intwana Sekasi to become something. Politicians are not gods. They are normal people. We're seeing the Ntlantla Laxas of this world putting their hands up. We saw Julius Malema put his hand up. Which you can come from a nobody and become a somebody if you're just willing to put in the work. So that's fundamentally important. Government at that level is government in your home. That's important. In that, a loan at national level is a loan at home. So when you're taking out a loan as a president from the IMF is a collection of countries. So it's a collection of it's Stokfela Sabo Mama. And your mom is saying, hey, that's what our presidents are doing. They're going begging, we need money. Those guys are like, okay, we'll help you, but it's not charity. It's never been charity. The World Bank, the IMF, some of these other institutions, it's a loan. And those loans are saying, look, at this rate, looking at how your economy is doing. But then, just like at your home, mama maunga cook, you should fridge lako. Baba maunga cook, in our country, and we never discussed the terms and conditions, and I was very upset when Tito Mboweni, Nabo Enoch Kotongwana didn't want to speak about the terms and conditions. These countries can, in effect, come in and change the policies of your economy. They can come in and they can change BEE rules and say, no, you need to scrap BEE. If we wanted land, the IMF can say, no, this land thing that you guys want, it needs to be scrapped. And our government will then come and say, guys, unfortunately, we have these big loans. We owe trillions of dollars to these people, and unfortunately, we can't enforce this act. And that's when ordinary people will get upset, like they're getting upset now with CODESA. What did Mandela sign? Why didn't you guys ask then? So we're asking now, okay, we see you guys are getting us money. We're not going to celebrate. Hey, bantwana bami, yazi ngiqeda ukuthola loan ye 15,000. Now siyabonga mama ungithengele. No. Mama le loan uyitholephi? At what rate? I try my best, and I want to try my best when I get on platforms to speak fearlessly and to speak truth to power. A lot of people are scared when I make certain videos. They're like, hey, Ntwana, awusabi ukubulalwa. And I'm like, I don't want to die at all. I love life and I want to contribute to life. But I cannot, when given a platform, keep quiet. America's the biggest bully on planet Earth. It's easy for them to hide because Hollywood is the biggest propaganda machine in the world. And because of Hollywood, we think Americans are so amazing. They've numbed our brains. America's got, I believe, over 5,000 military bases. And of those, 600 of them are elsewhere in the world. The other 4,000 odd are in America. America, under the guise of wanting to promote democracy and freedom and peace and transparency, comes and they set up bullies in countries. They call it, no, it's to protect your national interests, your government, their national interests, the McDonald's of this world, the KFCs and other American companies. But these guys, in effect, are the biggest colonizers of the world. That's why North Korea and Kim Jong-un constantly test their missiles, their nuclear missiles, because they're like, don't come close to my house. Oh, hey, Usbuda's going around giving food packs. No, Penuel is a dictator to his kids. His kids are hungry. I don't care what you say about my kids, but
because America did the same thing. It got Russia out of Cuba when Cuba was setting up missiles. When Russia
setting
was
up
setting up missiles,
military.
Yeah, let's put it that way. A military base in Cuba. They were like,
Sure.
no, that ain't gonna happen over
Sure.
here. Sorry, I disturbed you. Still
It's
talking.
fine. North Korea, Russia, China saw it a while back, and luckily they've got 1.3 billion people that they're willing to. China's got the biggest army in the world. America's got the second biggest. But America's the biggest spender when it comes to military spend. The day Russia supposedly, according to the media, bombed Ukraine and started this conflict that all of us are obsessed with, America bombed Somalia. Language is power. You and I have spoken about this on the virtual Mkhukhu. They were bombing insurgents, rebels, and they've got names for them, Al-Shabaab or whatever. When Russia is potentially doing the same in Ukraine, innocent victims. I've watched a lot of these videos. When you go to channels like Vice on YouTube and other alternative, they show you on the ground what is the Taliban. The Taliban is not some bunch of Muslims who are crazy. They start being human, and it's a person like your father who's saying, "Yindaba la belungu befuna ukuzoletha iBhayibheli ekhaya. Yindaba la belungu beloku befuna yes ma'am, yes sir. Sibusiso, no, what's your English name, my boy? Hayi la kwami." But your father was powerless. These guys realized what the agenda is. And I just want to say this. For the elite in the world, the prize has always been power. That's what everyone wants. To get power, you have to get it through human minds. Human minds, there are tools to control them. Religion was a huge tool, and it still is today. Money was the greatest tool they ever found. We found tools now called social media, of course. We've got social media today. These guys are after your minds, because after they have your minds, they have your labor, they have your body, they have your resources. That's what it's all about. But other guys realize, no man, why must America get all the power? Why must they have the biggest voice at the UN, at the World Health Organization? And China started. North Korea did. Russia's doing it now. We don't see it. And I've said this in one of my videos, that it's about gangs. Again, dumbing it down. Uguti, it's just a gang. When we speak about factions in the ANC, it's gangs. And I think for the normal South African who's being forced to pick, are you pro-Russia, are you pro-Ukraine? Yo, but it's atrocious. Understand that you're being pushed through propaganda to pick gangs. And you need to pick the gangs that serve your agenda with your family.
To pick sides, and the interesting thing is, it's like when the masters are fighting, ngingena mina leyo.
Sure.
Ngoba labantu bobabili uma ngithi ngiyababhekisisa ngathi akusabantu basekhaya.
Boom.
Ngathi akusabantu abangithanda. Kodwa uma ngathi ngiyababhekisisa kahle hle ibapha abadlale ingcenye.
Sure.
Noma
ingcenye nendima.
Yeah, indima ethile.
Oshema.
Ukusicindezela njengabantu.
Sure.
Ibapha abanye abaye bazama ukuthi bame nathi ukuzama ukulungisa isimo esikusona khona manje.
Sure.
Kodwa bakhona abanye ukuthi bazama ukuzenza sengathi bayanceda kodwa bona bayazi nabo banama agenda wabo in future.
Sure.
And that's when then those conversations coming of the US, Russia and China. We can talk about it the whole day.
Can I say something quick, Buddha?
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of America. I love American culture. I love American hip hop. I love basketball. Some of the greatest movies in our life, some of our greatest inspirations are from America. We speak about Tupac, Killer Mike, Candace Owens. These are all American people. I love America. But again, like I said, I'm not black and white. I'm not ignorant of some of the rubbish that America is, that they commit on a daily basis. If people go on Wikipedia, ongoing conflicts on Wikipedia, you'll find wars.
Right now, US and Somalia.
Yeah.
And let me not say right now, let me say on the exact date.
Yes, Joe Biden bombed. So anyways, I want to say I'm not picking sides. I love America. Ututuzile. Siska Tutuza, Ninganya Jacob Zuma.
Sorry. Yeah, say that again.
You love Nigeria?
Yeah, I love Nigeria.
Boom. She's with Russia because her dad's got a good relationship with Vladimir. So it's whatever. I want to highlight this because I'm not picking sides. This is very important. I love a lot about America. I don't know much about Russia. We don't watch their movies. We don't listen to their music, etc. And we found out the Russian bear singing Russia. Russia has never colonized any country in the world. Russia has never enslaved foreigners. Russia was extended a hand during apartheid to black people. So for the people, they were like picking sides and picking gangs. Just remember that when you're being pushed into the propaganda, that Russia's never colonized any nation. When all the Europeans, I said this when I was pointing a finger to white people in South Africa. No, why don't you support Ukraine? It's so atrocious. And I'm like, you guys were very quiet during apartheid.
And you guys are quiet during Palestine and Israel.
Guys are quiet with Palestine and Israel. When America bombed Afghanistan with, I think, over 40,000 people killed.
You guys
when
were
they
quiet
bombed
during
Iraq,
Gaddafi and Libya.
when Gaddafi was killed, when Hussein, Now
You
they,
guys
wa-
were
they
quiet
want
during
us.
Iraqi Saddam Hussein quiet
They
around.
want us now. Bazosithenga ukuthi we must. That's why Tutuzila saying Russia stood with us during apartheid. But you guys and those Chelatina, you have the audacity to come and tell us to come and stand with US-backed Ukraine.
And nobody wants war. Nobody wants nobody to die.
No.
But it hurts me when I'm watching videos of in a war-torn country and a war has just erupted.
Yeah.
And black people are just being pushed out of trains.
In Ukraine.
Like, we're all human beings. Like,
Yeah.
we're running away from war. Why is it that there must be racism even here? Black
Sure.
people must be lost.
Sure.
What does that say about, you know what I mean? It's like...
But I'm very big on focusing on your own agenda. That's why my religion, Penuelism, says find your tribe. Your tribe is not a skin color because the world has moved. We've become globalized. Look deeper than the skin. Look deeper than the private parts. Would no, I'm with Amachita, boys club, or no, I'm with my women. Look beyond that because that's exactly how they catch your mind. They find a black man who speaks like you, and find people that are your own tribe, and then be like, what are our shared values and what's our vision? And even with the Russia and Ukraine and America being like, what is our agenda? And if we have to pick a gang, which one suits and serves our agenda best? And we're like, this is why I stand with Palestine or Israel or whatever, because it falls within my agenda. And if anyone ever asks, I believe in this is how these people support me. And if tomorrow they lose, I'll be like, I'm sorry you guys lost. The reason, and I can even explain, like I said, I love America. I can explain to America if they're like, why are you supporting those guys? I'll be like, guys, these are the reasons. I love you guys as well. This is why I eat McDonald's. This is why I support LeBron James. This is why. So please don't force me into a corner. But I'm not happy with what you guys have done here because I hate, it was like the same question you were asking about ordinary citizens. I hate how America commits all these atrocities and we turn a blind eye because media propaganda focuses on who the Americans don't like.
Lastly, I'll go to one of the videos that you've done. By the way, guys, follow him on social media. Penuel, the Black Pen on Facebook.
I must go trademark that like DJ Spoo. Jeez. Thanks for the knowledge.
God Penuel on the rest of the other social media platforms. He did a video, and his video, well, this is me in my own mind. That's not what he said. I'm not paraphrasing. But basically what I deduced from his video is that he basically, according to the narrative that he was sharing on the video, not only one video, but I think out of a couple of videos since we've been speaking about crypto, according to Penuel, I probably might be wrong, but crypto is a scam. Am I right? Am I wrong?
You're such a clickbait. Hey, Tani, clickbait.
What is clickbait?
Clickbait is when a headline
Is when abelungu base America 100 years ago basebenzisa ingane zabantu abamnyama ezibheti ukuthi ama-crocodile asondele. I'm telling you guys, that's true story. Go research it.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah.
That's gonna
So
probably go deep. Yeah.
Clickbait is obviously when the headline is misleading. Jacob Zuma's son takes. It's got nothing to do with Jacob Zuma. So yeah, cryptocurrency is a scam. But no, I don't believe it's a scam anymore. I would like to speak about my views on crypto, and I don't know if we touched on this before. You in the crypto space? Yes, we have spoken about this. You in the crypto space?
Yeah,
you're
I'm new
teaching
in
about
it.
crypto.
I'm hardly 9 months old in it now.
Yeah, I made a video.
I'm quite excited with my journey. I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
Although I've been scammed, but I'm loving the journey that I'm having in crypto. Yeah.
We spoke in one of the videos about just the history of humanity and language and those things. I didn't like crypto, number one, because of who introduced it to us. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's fundamentally important to note. The people that brought us cryptocurrency are the same people that brought us fiat currency, are the same people who took our land, are the same people who colonized us as a nation. So in looking at that, I was like, no, man, this crypto thing looks dodgy and I'm not really sure. And it looks like there's a few elite white people at the top who are basically trying to get black people to give them their money so that they can take the money from us. But I spent some time researching cryptocurrency a bit better, and I realized, yes, the people that brought us all these things are the same people that committed all the atrocities, but they also are the same people who have the ability to switch off crypto or switch off fiat currency at any given time. They were the people that sanctioned Zimbabwe and made the Zim dollar basically worthless. They are the people that currently speak about private land ownership and title deeds. So maybe let me take them a bit more seriously. almost like when the British came in and you start studying about Roman Dutch law, start understanding private land ownership and title deeds. Let's do the same with crypto. I'm not saying get into crypto. I'm saying just learn about it. In the same way, let's learn Mandarin. Let's learn how to code. Let's learn how to program. And then a lot of abantu who have crypto then jumped in and they were like, yeah, Pen is now converted. He's a crypto junkie. And I made another video saying, I think a lot of people missed it. I'm not saying I support crypto. A lot of my views about crypto still hold the same. I think crypto is being misused by a lot of people at the top to suck money from people, to come and bully you. But let's be ahead of the curve and let's learn. In the same way, I'd like to say, let's learn about crypto. Let's begin getting a basic understanding of Mandarin as a language. If ever the Chinese get that powerful, let's teach our kids basic coding, C#, Java, etc. And just understand how the world works. So I think that's fundamentally important for me, that we just have the education around where the world might be moving. We speak about crypto now, we could be speaking about NFTs as well. Not necessarily that you must invest in it, but if ever the world switches off fiat currency, let's not be caught with our pants down like we were caught with our pants down when we didn't have guns, when we didn't have private land ownership and the like. So I was just highlighting that we need to learn, and not necessarily that people must jump in and be scammed. Like
Thank you so much for making those points. I really appreciate you for making those points.
Sure.
Another incredible episode, bro.
Virtual Mkhukhu.
Mkhukhu was just back up again. With that being said, guys, he's correct. Let me read you my pinned tweet on Twitter, because I've just literally dropped my first NFT collection, 10 NFTs, which were sold out in 3 days. I'm getting ready to drop my next NFT set. It's going to be 10 pieces as well, which are going to be sold out in less than 3 days, because I already have people who are looking for those. And shout outs to Major League for being one of the first guys as well in the country to lead in the NFT space. And I'm actually proud of other people that are sharing and preaching this knowledge as far as crypto is concerned. With that being said, let me just quickly add on to what Penuel is saying, because as much as I'm in crypto, I've also been scammed. As much as I've been scammed and I am in it, but I have to always say these things out loud. The pinned tweet on my Twitter account, which is DJ Sbu, DJSBU, says, warning, crypto is for risk takers. Why is it for risk takers? Because we have got a certain amount of, not that you're rich, but you probably have 1,000 rands that you can just put up and buy crypto on VelR, or buy crypto on Luno, or buy crypto on Binance, and you're willing to risk that amount of money, not because you don't want it. Yes, it's your money, you're in love with it. I mean, we all want money, but it's money that you can afford to lose. Nobody can afford to lose any type of money, but it's akusi imali engane school fees, akusi imali yokubhadala indlu, akusi imali ebalulekile empilweni. Yes, imali ebalulekile empilweni zezonke, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And then I say, let me read the entire statement and then I'll summarize it and then we'll wrap it up. Warning, crypto is for risk takers. Crypto is for long-term investors. You may lose money anytime. The market is always volatile. Only invest in crypto knowing you may lose or gain. Go do your research. Be informed. Be knowledgeable. Don't take anyone's advice or give them your money, because there's lots of scammers out there. Only use reputable platforms.
Sure.
That's what I've pinned onto my pinned tweet.
Fundamentally important.
You know why I'm doing that when I Penuel, people use our names to try and pretend to be us.
All
people
the time.
Follow us. They can see everything you post. Sure. And they can screenshot everything you post and literally pretend to be you. And the only difference between you and that account, maybe because I'm in the industry, I've got a blue check, but maybe it's just that full stop.
Sure.
Or maybe that underscore after your handle.
100%.
And there's a lot of people who don't pay that much attention to such things. It's like, I'm sure when you follow scammers online, I don't want to mention names, but there's people who do things like, they call it BIS, where you find that they can clone a company's not only bank account, but website.
Sure.
Where they follow the company, they know everything that the company is doing at what time, the payments, when they pay their suppliers, and all of that stuff.
Sure.
And you find that maybe if the company is Penuel.com, they can come as Penuel. maybe
Sure.
Penuel.com.
Sure.
Or Penuelis.com.
Or even
Or
.co.za.
Penuel _. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And there might be, out of 1,000 people, there might just be those 3 people who might just not see you. Go to, no, this is not the real Penuel.
Sure.
We're being scammed.
Sure.
And they might end up following the prompts or the instructions or whatever it is. They might pay the money and then it ends up being in the scammer's
Sure.
banking account. So, with
No,
that,
thank you for that warning. It's fundamentally important.
very important, bro.
Yeah.
With that being said, I just wanted to wrap up our conversation, and I appreciate. We're becoming something, bro.
No, we have to. We have to.
I'm
People,
loving
people
the
need this.
chemistry.
I enjoyed the masterclass earlier. I hope people were listening. People that want to get into the entertainment industry, publishing, trademarking your name.
By
fact
the way,
that-
shout out to Smuda.
shout out to Smuda. Shout out to Smuda.
It must be voice again, bro. It's oi oi. It's oi oi. Ah, it's oi oi. Ay oi oi. It's oi oi. Yeah, it's oi oi. Smuda. Lona. Ah, keep it mas. It's kanji. It's oi oi. Smuda Lona.
Oh no, Smuda.
Ubito Wami guys smooth, sure. Sorry, you're wrapping up. You're
No,
saying?
no problem. I was saying thank you very much for the master classes earlier. For example, I learned while sitting here that I need to go and register Penuel the Black Pen trademark. I'm hoping, I think it's fundamentally important for me to go back and teach people about money. We need to speak about parenting. We need to speak about the future of the world, where we include things like crypto, NFTs, Web 3.0, the metaverse, etc. And we also need to speak about the past, as well. So I'm hoping to have more classes for people out there. I'm going to be putting posters out there celebrating 10,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, congratulations.
It's not much for
I'm
a little
proud of
guy,
you, bro.
but you called it last year. There's a tweet I posted saying I'm going to take my social media more seriously this year, and you commented and you were like,
I remember that
if
tweet.
you keep it consistent by this time next year, which was going to be December, you're going to have 10,000 to 20,000. And then you also forecast for 2023, etc. So we are lawyer.
Angloy.
Jeez, we are lawyer, but I appreciate that your lawyings are positive. Positive lawyings.
So
I
I'm a
appreciate them.
lawyer.
I'm a lawyer. I am a lawyer in a bad way, but yes. So thank you very much. 10,000 subscribers. I'm going to be celebrating via a braai on our family farm in the Val in
Nice.
2 weeks. But
Nice.
I want to focus on this education because people need to preempt the future. They mustn't be caught with their pants down, as I said earlier with crypto. I'm quite excited.
Yo, there's something that I said on one video. I said, the future, how did I put it, Gonja? I said something around the line. I said something along the lines of what you think. Anyway.
Can I hit you with a quote?
Yeah.
They say don't imagine the future, create it. So what you can think and envision, you can bring to real life. You just have to believe in yourself. And I think we've said this as well before, that success lies in your daily habits. You want to be a superstar, you want to be DJ Sbu, you want to have a beverage company, you want to do cryptos, start today. Sculpt some time, take some time away, and just build yourself. You can create your future.
I love what you're saying, talking about creating a future. Guys, I think in our minds or subconscious mind, the future seems to be something that is like far away, but we forget that our future is what we're doing now. We've just recorded this episode, that is our future. Because this very same episode, I'm gonna watch it. I've literally started getting a little gray a little bit. He started getting a bit gray a little bit. There's gonna be a time where we are fully gray.
Jeez.
Both of us, he's probably 3% gray. I'm probably 9% gray or maybe 14% gray. There's gonna be a time where we are both maybe 70, 80% gray. And we watch this episode and it's on 1 million views. Or maybe it's on 2 million views. That's exactly the future. The future you created now. So what are you doing right now to say that when I am gray, not specifically the time when you are gray, you're probably 19, maybe you're probably gonna only be gray in 50 years. But what are you gonna look at in the future and be like, wow, I remember that day. There's people who send me pictures, bro, like today. Ne?
Yeah.
Spoo, this is me and you were in Mpumalanga, you
Jeez.
were playing Gupi Gupi. Yes, Spoo, we're going now, like Eastern Cape, you were playing, you were DJing, and I came to the crowd, and yes, Spoo, this is...
Sure.
And then there's some, obviously you're not going to remember everything.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some that I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
It's crazy.
Has it been 13 years already?
Jeez.
Some of them I'm like, wow, has it been 19 years already?
Sure.
Yes, guys, that's what happens. Time flies like this. So you have to create your future when? Now. I'll see you next week, bro.
Thanks a lot, Spuda. Virtual Mkhukhu.
Virtual Mkhukhu.
We're out.
Mkhukhu wasesibhakabhakeni.
This is the Hustlers Corner.